So, we're back in Astral again for more completion. And we are doing File 6. We are doing technically the longest chapter in the base game. It took an hour and 45 for the full recording. So I'm expecting at roughly 2 and 25 minutes. But let's just start this because this is going to be a while. Hope you guys enjoy this long ass video. If it is long ass video. God, I'm not looking forward for this goddamn gigabyte on my computer. So, two things before we start off. This is a 12.7 gigabyte video. And I'm not even going to say anything about this file, because the first one is a bunch of the staying informed stuff. Earth 2043. Earth found itself faced with a disaster brought about by immediate impact that opened gates to the astral plane. Matters the like of which Earth has never seen leaks through the gate of toxic miasma, twisting everything it touches. Eventually, beyond recognition, we come to call this process a redshift. At the current rate, the redshift was a very significant threat to our species. I'm just gonna let you guys read this, since it is a giant amount of text. I would love to read through all this, but you guys would rather have me save my voice and stuff like that for other parts of the thing. So, excuse me. Other than that, most of these red cases here are based on, well, the pre stuff before any of the arc was built. So the story before we know about Neuron, Yosef's project, and stuff like that. So it's explained in this little chapter where we get to read a bunch of stuff. And technically, this is my 6th recording. Yeah, this like intro, this staying informed stuff is my 6th recording. Because of one reason. I started reading some of the Raven files, and if you remember from file 9, you will remember the no, it was 10, either 9 or 10. We learned about the Ravens, and one of the other staying informed section was that the Ravens report was there as well. And if you go back in completion for file 6, they do show up in your records for doing staying informed. So you could technically read it if you want, but like they're not supposed to like show up in this file. And if you're doing for completion sakes, you're gonna be reading them if like by accident, and it won't increase your staying informed. Other than that, most of these reports for the ARC data files are all about like the period before, I think either before and during the corruption of Zone 09, widely known as the pandemic, where Zone 09 was hit with a massive corruption spike and a bunch of people in the area were redshifting towards aberrations, and a bunch of Neuron officers were sent to Zone 09 to evacuate some people and help out with the Zone 09 situation. And as a little spoiler alert, because they will show up in this area, some of these cases are actually from Captain Max, and they do have a password to unlock them. This ARC data file here is all about it's like a little rumor about the people living in Zone 09 called the Uppers. It's basically like an article, they're gonna an article written about like a rumor for the people who still live in Zone 09 that have been quarantined off and either just like not been held by the world or not the world, yes, the world government, something like One Piece, by the government in Astral Chain. Either just because they're like forgotten or they don't want to remember Zone 09 and all that stuff. So it's a very good thing to read as well, because it does show you that even before Jenna told us, and even before we adventure into Zone 09, there have already been rumors for the people of Zone 09. Very, very cool. One of the other things about this is that the final arc data file that I read in this one was the one we read in the LP. So I just skipped that one. It's still funny to read again, but it's like the only one I technically skipped because we have seen it and you've heard me read it before, so there's no reason to read it again. This one here is all about the hackers for the Hermit. So, if anything, the police in Neuron were asking if people have been dealing with the Hermit to go to their police HQ. And they don't tell you a zone or like a quadrant. It's been redacted, but to go talk to the police at a police station, because since they've been taking everything electronically, they also don't want the hermits to read that you have been caught by them through their emails. So it's pretty cool. The duty reports are all about blue cases and other stuff that people have done before, and this is where all the stuff about more about the stuff that Maximilian Howard did, our father, before he passed away. And it's really cool that these three are all about like just the past. One of them was just about helping out with the Chimera and treating it like a child, because he had two children at the time, Akira and our player character. This case report here is all about a civil or like a big Chimera event that happened in Zone 36 with Alicia and Jin, and this was like the first part where, though Captain Howard was the only one with Legion at the time, they wanted more officers to have legions, and this is why Jin and Alicia back in File 1 had a legion, but don't in this point. So it gives you a reason why they would be given one, since they always help out Captain Howard. And the final two case reports, the last one and this one, are all written by Alicia. So it's really cool to see how she filing her reports and all that. And this one in general is just a bunch of hermit cases. So one of them is all about like two vermits vandalizing an ATM. Another one was pursuit and arrest of a hermit gang member in a Grand Theft Auto back in Zone 30 or Zone 21. And it's very interesting to see all the crimes that the hermits have committed, technically. And it's very cool to see that even before we intervened in Zone 09, these hermits have been causing major disruption, but they have been keeping a low head to avoid police custody. Yeah, most previous reports of the hermits' activity only involved computer-related crimes. Recently, we have more and more reports of their involvement in direct and even violent crime activity that changes cause for concern. So it's very cool to see that during this time, before we even, I think, joined Neuron, good old Zone 09 and hermits were being bad. The last three of the years before we even start the game, they all have a password, and the password is 1125. The only way to know that is the password for these three case or duty reports is that these were all written by Max, and the password of 1125 is actually the birth date of the twins, November 25th. So Captain Howard, after adopting these two kids after Zone 09, after the pandemic in Zone 09, wrote about it. In general, the first one is just him saying that he needs to write down more stuff, and the second duty report is not a one-to-one, but basically what was happening in Zone 09 during the pandemic. So you get to see a lot of like first-hand experiences and first commentaries on what is happening in Zone 09 from Neuron's side and from the officer side from what happened. It's really cool and a little cool storytelling as well to figure out. Another thing is that later reading in this case or this duty report is that when everyone or all the Neuron officers were there trying to rescue people and stop the aberrations and all that, they got the call to just head back to base to stop. And once Captain Howard heard about this, he instantly gunned it toward finding some civilians to rescue and take him into the chopper to like a different area because he didn't want people to stay here, which would come to the reason why he found both twins, adopted them as his own, and why we're both here into the game as well. The Union made the call, boys. They're gonna cut this zone off. And yeah, this is the reasoning, and this is giving us more detail on why Zone 09 was abandoned. And if anything, you can really sympathize with Max just hearing that you're gonna cut off this zone and just seeing a bunch of people there, just not in quarantine, but still just in Zone 09 doing nothing. It really eats at him that this happened. Truth be told, and I know they may be reading this and I don't care, I don't have any more reason to stay in this shit outfit. He doesn't want to work in a Neuron anymore. He wants to find a new purpose from there on after, for what happened at Zone 09. This case here is all about, when Max got bested once against the beast type Chimera, and saying that he only has like 10 or so years, or like a couple more years in the office or in the police duty because he's getting old and he's not as fit as he used to be. And it's really cool to see that even then you could have had it. And one other duty report here is about a how to avoid redshift seminar that happened, and this is written by Marie, and not a lot of people showed up, but a bunch of old people who have gotten redshifted before, or who have been redshifted, show up and share their experiences and firsthand like ways to get rid of redshift, either through ARI or their own methods. So if you think that some people were like, that Neuron or the Union government did not care about the people in like getting redshifted and all that, they had a seminar for that. Read all the blue cases and you'll finish staying informed, or you could just read one and done and just leave and also complete staying informed. Either way, it's all just for commentary and just some background knowledge and all that.
I need to talk to you.
Our suit for today is the green mechanic suit, which I do love. And I also swapped out our vest for a ballistics vest because since we're going to war in Zone 09, if you remember by the latter half of the game, or yeah, the latter half of the file, it makes sense to have a ballistic vest. So right now I'm just trying to collect a bunch of stuff here, a bunch of these items before we progress onward to meeting Hal on the roof. And if anything, nothing much happens. You do get to see some people like training and they will tell you like what's going on. And I know that I was just looking at something else at the time, but I want to go upgrade here. But if you saw in the training room, there was a blue sparkle that you can shoot down with your Arrow Legion for well, for an item, which is kind of funny and the only time it happens in any of their own segments. You just have to shoot it down, but it's kind of funny that it's there. And as you saw before, I fully upgraded my X-Baton, so I don't have to upgrade it anymore. And by the time I technically remembered to upgrade my Legatus terminal, it was near the end of the game, so you won't see me upgrade it. Because I technically thought that I already upgraded it, but once I went back after I think recording file 11, or for a second recording, I saw that I didn't upgrade my Legatus, so I upgraded it and got the achievement for that one as well. But yeah, fully upgraded Exoton, you just keep doing the damage and having fun with it. It's really good. Just keep upgrading your Exoton so you can just deal with the damage and you can beat chimeras faster for quick S ranks and all that. The whole thing with the whole thing with Hal here is that if you what do you call it, want to skip this text, you can, but you have to legitimately just mash through the button because there is no fast option to do it, and if there is, it's like only on the first interaction with him. Also, this is one of the few times where you can take a picture of Hal's robot that's not in the astral plane where he's like usually at, or the ARI. So if you haven't taken a picture of Hal yet from like on his drone, this is your best bet to get a picture of him before you forget. Now that we're done with a good old talking with all and getting all the items, I'm just went back here to upgrade some more of my legions, because some of them are a little underleveled, like my or not underleveled, but like at least I don't have some of them unlocked. So grabbing more ability slots is a good thing. Same thing with some other skills that I don't need, but the premium material code are the only thing that are hindering me from grabbing the majority of my well, or just splurging in general. And you usually get those codes from opening chests for the first time, completing some cases as well for your first time. So it's really good to just remind yourself to do that. Other than that, I went to my ability codes here for my legions, especially for my arm legion, since I haven't put anything on him except slow attack with a subside of anti-flame and super armor alpha. Trying to see what I want to put on him. Critical rate's not that bad. It just improves your critical rate chance for your legion, so their critical damage can appear more better. Super armor alpha in general, I'm trying to see what I want to put. Anti-slime is a good thing to choose as well, because any of these slime blobs from the golden slime or from the monsters like the gel chimeras or the tentacles in Arc Mall, they don't get fully negated. If you go deep into the slime, you'll still get affected. But usually around like where you would generally walk, you'll just get used to them. Also, getting critical damage plus 40 on my Axe Legion is going to be very good. So when I get a crit, either from the back or if it randomly wants to give me a crit, it does more damage, making fights last or fights shorter, and your damage will go more and more up. After the things for Legion ability, you just have to go to the garage, grab your bike, and move on. Also, if I sound very hoarse today and I'm like, you hear me drinking a lot of water or sound very like nasally and congested, living in a cold room or being in a new cold room without a blanket or something warm to keep you will more likely than not destroy your voice. So if I sound like that, I'm very sorry, but I want to record these voiceovers before I forget, before everything is done and dusted. Anyway, as soon as we get here to Zone 36, we get to go around and do a couple quests before we can do them. And if anything, this blue case of like taking out this Parnassus number 3 is very easy to do. You just either have the Beast Legion howl to him and you'll be done, or you can just deal them by throwing your Legion at him, stunning him, and then just wrap around him. Either way, it's a very simple thing to do. One other thing is that there's a bunch of codes up here, and if you remember back in ALP, we did none of them. We just went straight to Howl, because technically, if you're doing a case where you can't be caught, you can't do anything.
Aha! We meet again at last. What wonderful luck. Your timing couldn't be better. Can I trouble you for your assistance once more? Thank you. Once again, I am in your debt. Get down! You are far too conspicuous standing up. Look there in the restaurant. You can see the two of them at that table, plotting nefariously. Now, I have it on good authority that the man is a recruiter for the Z09 Liberation Front. Who are they? Why, they are the they. The very same they we ran afoul of before. I can feel it in my bones. We can crack their conspiracy wide open. Look, he's standing up now. Surely he will lead us to something we can use to expose the entire plot. My friend, you have already proven invaluable to my case. I know I can trust you to stay on his tail.
We are in one of these few tailing segments for like red cases and stuff like that. Some red cases you are required to tail someone before they catch you. Think of it as a different version of the sneaking section, but you just have to follow someone, don't arouse suspicion, and you'll be fine. For this in general, if you want to get an S+, you have to basically avoid detection from him. And one of the best ways to get an S+, not guaranteed, but one of the best ways to get it, is if you do this with the achievement of in plain sight in mind, where instead of like using the given thing of the circles, you just hide in plain sight. You do something. So you like go to an area and just try to think of it as a place to go for like coffee and stuff like that. As soon as the person walked to there, you're set to just walk forward. Don't run, walk forward towards a section where you have to fight.
About time you showed up. The boss doesn't like waiting.
Sorry, but I got us another prospect today. That makes 10 this month.
Hey, you idiot! You led the cops right to us! Use this and take them out. You know what happens if you fail.
The other part about this segment is that if you can deal with these people without taking any damage, so like the unscathed achievement, it also will mostly guarantee an S plus rank, which is why I always try to proc a blue shield and an immediate howl to get all these people stunned, and then do a spin cycle with the Axe Legion.
I felt so certain we would capture their leader and end this once and for all. But no matter. Thanks to your help, we have made valuable headway indeed. Now, I must report my findings back to the precinct at once. Stay vigilant until we meet again, my friend.
But with that, we are done with the whole case of Criminal Pursuit. It's a very cool achievement and very cool red case to do because, well, it's a very cool sneaking section and all that. So yeah, a very easy thing to do and very fun though. Usually how I do this case is that the in plain sight one is usually your guarantee for an S+, and if you do that, you'll have some fun. But if you do use the hiding spot, you will like not negate it, but you also like lose some general consensus on your points and all that. But it's very cool to see your player character try to blend in with the crowd. If it's like an actual crowd of people, she'll just join in, seem interested in the conversation. She'll put her arms around, or she'll cross her arms if she's standing in behind like a bus stop to see when the bus is coming and stuff like that. Very interesting ways your player character does that. And since we're still back in Harmony Square, the same locales will go by. So if you're missing any of the pictures taken, you can still grab them at this location, and more or less the cases are in the same area as before. So yeah, Carlos's case was near him trying to find the suspect before, and where we're going now is where the bombing blue case was from. And instead of another bombing case here, Joey's back here for another round of shooting. And again, I stated before, since we're trying to do a case with very minimal attention to ourselves before we get caught, we just go up here, talk to Joey, and well, try to beat his record again in shooting. Shooting 201 is another of the shooting segments in this game, and it's not that bad. In this one, basically, how to get the S+ for this one is that you have to hit every single good target now. So this is the first one, or this is the case where the bad targets show up, And technically you have to hit the correct one, or hit all the good ones. Because if you hit a bad one, you automatically do not get an S+. And if you think a target is going to go soon, the focus that the Aero Legion gives you is also really good to, not to spam, but to use. So you know that you're getting your shots in. And one other neat fact about shooting 2-on-1 is that if you shoot a target, no matter what it is, it automatically refills your limiter. Not to full, but it automatically refills your limiter a bit. So keep that in mind. If you're just mindlessly spamming, you will keep it. Also, this one here, those spiky targets are an automatic blow up one. And it's a very cool one where they blow up a good chunk of the area. If you want a better way of blowing them up, wait until like they're in the middle of that 5x5, and you'll guarantee them all. And that's why also using the focus is really good. But yeah, stated before, hit all the good targets and you'll get an S+. Also, you can actually shoot these targets that are here. They're not static, so it's very funny to just shoot them down with the Air Legion. Jump off the building and we get to move on with a different part of the area. And if anything, some of the other cases are not that bad, but they're funny in a way because we're trying to keep our footprint low and we're going out of our way to help out people. Like, story-wise, it's very funny. Also, one of the things for these empty cans is if you have them as an item to throw, you can have them as a way to distract the guards in the sneaking section in this case, or in this file, because since they're attracted to sound, either you stepping on the glass or you falling off like a dumbass, if you have the like some empty cans like hoisted up into your normal item repertoire, you can throw a can basically like in Hitman, where you can just like toss a coin and the guards will go towards it and you can move towards the better direction. This blue case here is we're trying to reunite this lost girl with her mother, and she does give you how she did it, where she went down the stairs once and across the road twice, meaning she crossed this road twice and she went up the stairs to where we normally go for starting off Jenna's or the investigation for Jenna back in File 4. And if for any reason you forget where or forget the directions, you can either hit left on your D-pad to open up your police notes, or you can talk to the little girl again and she'll give you the exact same thing she said to you in the beginning. I accidentally accidentally pressed A on the little girl because I wanted to grab a can on the ground. But yeah, go up here, and as soon as you walk towards the word mother, the child will run towards her mother, and you're done with this blue case. It's a very, very good blue case to do. And nothing much to it. You're just reuniting a lost girl with her mother. Blue case closed, number 3. The level variants for red and blue cases are just like a way to track how many cases you have done. And yeah, they're very good to see, and they all have their own separate numbers acquired to them. So yeah. Also, if you walk back up here, I honestly don't know if the robot is in this part where you talk to him. I would generally think so if you haven't talked to him in File 4. But that's just me. Also, one other achievement you can do in this case is something ice cream related, which if you don't read it, you're not gonna figure it out. This blue case here is trying to find a you start using your Beast Legion for technically tracking, and this blue case is a perfect example, if you don't like Hal's way of doing it, of how to give a scent to your Legion and use it to track stuff. This lady lost her, think of it as like a credit card in a way, or like her pocketbook. And she gave us something with the same scent as her bag. We give it to the Beast Legion and it will automatically track it. Even if you know where the item is, it's not gonna spawn until you give the Beast Legion the scent and all that. But you can make the process much easier by grabbing it, going toward the item position, give the Beast Legion the item to track, and you'll be fine. It'll just take less time. As soon as you give back the cash chip towards the lady, she'll give you like 100 G for giving her a cash chip back. Coming down here to where Jenna was, there's a chest down there you can grab as well. And if you go to the ice cream shop here, if you buy the Avalanche Special and you eat it all the way, you eat it, you'll just grab an achievement. It's that simple. Summer Avalanche, which is basically eating the Avalanche Special from the ice cream shop and not dropping it. Meaning, if you just mash the A button, you'll be fine. Going up here to a couple more cans and all that. I'm trying to figure out where the chest was, and then I saw it downstairs. So I'm just trying to kill two birds with one stone. This blue case here, this girl wanted an ice cream cone, and she dropped it. And this blue case, it doesn't matter what ice cream cone you give her, she just wants ice cream. But when I did this for the first time, when I got this game, I technically didn't have a Pro Controller at the time with the motion controls. I had a wired one, which made some of these sections, or the section with Mitsuru, or a different part of the game, much easier, because you only use the right stick to move your boxes. But it's more in the sense that you just have to give her ice cream or just to give it to her, and you can give her any ice cream you want. And for me, when I first played this game, I gave her the Avalanche Special. And if you want, you can pick any ice cream you want, but the only reason why I picked the Avalanche Special is because technically you have the most ice cream on it, and you can just give it. But as you can see, the motion controls are technically not that good, nor can I understand how to do it. Also, if you take too long to cross the road, you'll start losing prestige points, which is very funny. But yeah, no, I do not understand the motion controls for this ice cream cone thing, because I'm technically holding it straight, and it's veering slightly to the right or veering slightly to the left, and I don't understand how to do it. You don't have to buy an Avalanche Special if you don't want to. You could just buy like a normal scoop of ice cream and just give it to that. If you bump into anyone, you automatically drop a lot of ice cream. And that one person on the stairs, it doesn't matter which step you go to. You always have to deal with that one person running down the stairs. And another funny thing is that you can actually go to the girl, you can bump into her, and you will also drop a bunch of ice cream. I've done it in not a previous attempt in this recording, but I've done it when I first played this game and I was completing it. I accidentally bumped into her and all the ice cream fell, and I'm just there like, bro, I ran into her and all the ice cream fell? What the fuck? It was dumb, but I couldn't do anything but laugh because it was just so stupid. The can collecting. Also, another thing is that there is a blue sparkle on the back of this truck here, and basically you could just grab it from like the stairs if you're a good shot, because it's harder to shoot it with the railing in the way. And another thing is that there was a chest behind the car in Fallout 4. It was very cool. Also, I never saw that the Legion walked, but you can still hear the Legion yelling even though I called it back. Also, the Legion hideout, or the Legion, I want to keep saying the Legion. The Hermit's hideout from Case 4 or File 4 is still in File 6. So if you didn't find it in your first attempt, you can still find it here. But either way, they both have chests, so you're either way gonna be forced to discover it, whether you like it or not. I bought the vendor Zero mask, which was very cool. And during this part, I went to go buy a couple more like nades and stuff like that because I needed them for this case. And I also went here to sell all of the salvageable items I had from playing this game to just increase my money again. So it's very good to do. And if anything, I think this is like the last friendly Hermit's hideaway in this game, because though I will say this, there's a couple more later on, but you're forced to fight them. So I mean, the one in File 5 was also a hostile one, so the only ones that are technically peaceful and stuff like that are the one in Maison Forest and the technically two in Harmony Square, where they just set up shop and you can buy stuff. We're almost nearing the end of this good old fiasco. We're just collecting a couple more things and healing up a couple more red shifting personnel towards going to Hal. And the whole sneaking section with Hal is split up into two videos. One is just the completion, so getting all the chests and all that, which is not that bad. You can get it in your first attempt. And I will say this, collecting the chest in this specific case was not that bad. A little irksome in some parts, but generally you're not gonna have problems with the collection. Later on a different case, it is kind of annoying, but I will save it for when we do it, and it is not until File 8, so technically we're close to it. But also during that the sneaking section, I left some of my commentary in for when I was doing, or some of my live commentary in when we were doing it, because it just emphasizes my frustration when it comes to this. Also, one other thing in
one more time, though.
this technical thing is that
Enter Zone 09 without the Union's
uh,
permission. Even for Neuron. If you get caught, they'll charge you with
technically you
insubordination
can
for sure.
technically every time you make a costume for this case, you're always forced into
I mean it.
the drab civvies.
First things first, we'll have to do something about that outfit.
But
Uppers aren't exactly huge fans of the government or the police. You can't walk around Zone 09 dressed like that.
the only forced segment for the drab civvies is this chapter, like the sneaking section. If you don't want to deal with the
I'm starting to forget you're a cop
yeah,
already.
if you don't want to deal with the drab civvies and stick with your police attire,
That door
you
back
can
there,
start
only way into
the
exclusion zone.
the case by chapter
As you can
4,
see, we'll have to
and
sneak
you'll
past
have
a few
your
guards to get to it.
your police attire. And spoiler
And
alert, you will
the
see
door
that.
itself won't open without a security key card.
And I'm letting the cutscene play, or I'm letting like the cutscene
Of course, we can't
technically
just
play
ask
because
them to
I'm trying
come
to
to us. We'll
at
have
least
to
calm myself
take it from
down
them
to get
somehow.
through this in minimal attempts as I want to.
Okay.
So going beyond the wall. This first video file, or this first like part of the video, is just me trying to collect every single chest in this area, and it's very good to do that. So you go to this segment here with this alcove, and there's a chest across from it, and you can just chain jump towards it. And if anything, if you do take this chest area and chain jump across to that area, your camera angle, you can actually speed run this part and get through it faster than you will normally would. And it's very cool to do, to just like get from point A to point B very fast. I'm waiting for this officer to turn around before going down the ladder, but literally going down the ladder
Oh no.
alerted him that I was there. Also, technically I never did the second option for this segment, because if you get caught, you can technically say let's break through. Let's break through, and technically you'll have to fight every officer or every neuron officer with drones, and technically that's how you get not the aberration ones, but some of the other requirements for the Enemypedia. And it's very funny that you can just fight them, but it's strongly advised not to. So if you want to sneak through it, you can. You get nothing for beating them up, but if anything, if you do try to beat them up, you will be guaranteed a D rank. I don't know if the guide honestly says that trying to fight them will guarantee the D rank, but every time I've done it, I've always guaranteed the D rank. It just takes way too much time from normally doing it, and makes it more of a hassle than it is to be fun. But now just go up the ladder here, and we'll be able to get to a different part of the section where we can just change them towards. And the scaffolding in this section is pretty finicky because of how narrow the catwalks are. So try your best try your best ways to stay on it. I'm always trying to realign my Legion's circle so it's like halfway on it, so I can guarantee me landing on the scaffolding than falling down in front of a guard, the peripherals. This chest here will guarantee us and connect us to the top of these containers where another amount of red matter is, but you can't dive across from there to grab them. Also, since this area is technically clean, we can like run around and run around and technically not get our thing spotted. But as soon as we get spotted by another neuron officer, or we get the alert meter to yellow and they can't find us, they'll pop in a drone, And the drones in this segment, or once you get drones during the sneaky section, it makes it harder for us to technically sneak across, and we have to take pot shots at it with our Arrow Legion. So if you don't want to do that, just try your best not to get caught by them. Chain jump there was pretty terrible because I just edge bugged and slid off the pipe. There's gonna be a lot of edge bugging because that's what this chain jumping does to me, and it's terrible. Another thing is that trying your best to like stay up is good. As you saw, I started falling into the peripheral of one of the officers, but he technically didn't see me because I dodged out of the way. But yeah, no. If you don't have everyone chained, it takes a while, or it will take like a lot of your mental capacity to chain jump to these areas, because that item you have to actually collect it in the scaffolding. And as you can see, the movement is technically not that great. It's one of like my least favorite functions about this game, though it's pretty cool. You're gonna edge bug a lot. We got Iris code, voice code B. And that's another of the custom Iris voices we can use for our Iris if we want to. And I'm going to be going through each of them, hopefully by case or file 12.
Iris startup.
This man heard us falling on the stairs, and technically that will make a sound. But yeah, he got alerted, but it wasn't high enough in the sound meter that it made him walk towards us. Also, right now I'm opening the map to see if I've gotten everything so far, and it does look like I've gotten everything so far. And we just have to walk behind here and bind them up. A very simple thing to do. And now we get to go towards the worst part about this section is the two guards walking around. If you go down the stairs, one of them will hear you, and that causes them to slightly desync. So if you don't want to desync them a lot, I will say try to don't go up the stairs. Try to keep them there. And if anything, I missed my auto bind because auto bind is terrible. We were near the end of it, but I decided to go back and do it again stealthily. But since I got everything in this case, I just wanted to go through it decently fast. So I went through the normal intended way of doing it, where you just go here, bind that guy up. Be careful with the other officer that's across the scaffolding, because he can technically see you above the stairs and through that hole he has. And you can walk down here, bind that guy.
Iris, shut down.
And then you can walk across here, just crouch when you're near the barrels. And you technically don't desync these two officers. They stay on B, and then you can auto bind the both of them once they get together in the second one. But it's harder because since they're on beat, one will cover the other back. You can also technically like bind the back of that one, and once the other one gets close, you can auto bind him. Do it fast enough, and the drones won't show up. So if you're quick on the draw with one auto bind and then manually manually binding the other one, you'll be fine. Get to this segment here, and we have to move this floating platform with our Arm Legion towards this section where where there's some red matter and a chest we can collect. a very simple one you'll miss, but if you're looking out for it, you'll be able to find it, because the second platform there automatically tells you that, oh, there's another thing here. We're at the final segment of this chapter. We just gotta grab this last chest here. Also, it's very funny that if you run, he can technically hear you because you're below him, but he does nothing about it, so it's very funny. Walk up or go up the walk up the elevator. Go up the elevator and well, bind them up, and case is done, or the first part of the chapter is done.
Great, you can now.
But yeah, with me like failing it a lot, and failing it a lot and taking a lot of time, it made this case get automatic like D rank and stuff like that. So it wasn't that good. But yeah, Stealth Binder and Stealth Clear are the only ways you can guarantee yourself an S+ rank, but you need to
There's a security
go
detail
through it
on this
fast.
side, too. You know the drill. Try not to get caught.
You piece of shit! You piece of shit!
Hey, you! What?
You piece of shit.
Well, that could have gone better.
That was like my failed attempt at this part where I fell off the map and got caught. And this one here is all about like doing it with Stealth Bind and Stealth Clear, where if you do it fast enough, it's still not enough to guarantee an S+. And this attempt right here is me actually getting an S+. The last thing you're missing for an S+ is the little point marker of that's a wrap. Basically, that one is you just bind everyone that is on patrol, and that guarantees you a lot of points and will mostly guarantee you your S+ rank. So if you're wondering why you getting through this as fast as you can never gives you an S+, it's because you're not binding everyone in the area to give you that. Also, be careful with the ladder here, because those two will see you through the ladder. But it gives you a better way to sneak up on this guard here instead of jumping across the gap. That will most likely than not get his attention and cost you your run. Once we get to these two, I tried to bind both of them together. I knocked this guy out, and he was technically out of the way from this guard's peripheral to trigger his little cutscene where he's asking the guy if something's wrong, which threw me for a complete loop. It caught me so off guard that I had to improvise this last part of the the capture, because I was half expecting him to run towards his friend, and then I can just auto bind him behind the box to guarantee the last part of it. But no, it just happened like that. He didn't see, and stealth bind this last guy here, and we are finished with this red case. It is very dumb though.
Great, now.
This took me like 3 to 4 attempts to do, so it wasn't that bad, but it is kind of dumb that it works that way. The only reason why I'm still going on with this recording is to show you guys, give you the visual proof that I got an S+, and that I'm not technically editing this, so you can see it. S+ with That's a Wrap gives you 8,000 points, and is the the guarantee factor for well,
There's a
S plus.
security detail on this side too. You know the drill. Try not to get caught.
Iris, startup.
Back to here, back to our original recording where we do this. This second part is not that bad. This second part of the subsection is
Information.
it's still the first recording, because you can technically grab all of the items in this area and stealth bind a bunch of these guards as well. So it's not that bad. Auto binding or having auto bind in this segment as well is very useful, because you can grab this officer behind the wall and it will most likely help you a lot to do that, because you're supposed to normally
Iris, shut down.
use your legion to go around him and move him around, which will cause your alert meter to go up. But now we're nearing the end of this part. We just have to go up and take out these two guards. I'm trying to take them out with an auto bind, but if anything, I just went for a manual bind.
Iris,
I just couldn't see where my legion was going with my iris on, so I just had to turn it off, bind the both of them, and it wrapped a doozle. Wrap everyone around, and we also get another That's a Wrap bonus, which also guarantees us another S plus. It's a very cool one to do. But I think once you get past here, you'll get your rank, but you can still go back and grab the red matter
Those should be
and the
last guards
picture
for us to
of
worry
the
about.
vendor 3 and all that. So don't forget that you can go back and grab the things you're missing, which is what I actually did in this recording as well. Also, I'm trying to find another red case that I missed that is not on my map. But yeah. Right now, I'm just trying to grab a couple more of the red cases in this area. And this area in general, if you want, there's some
Iris, startup.
points of interest you can find that guarantee or that give you a picture.
A busted security drone. It looks like it was working fine up until a little while ago. Maybe it saw something interesting. Let's check it out. Did you hear those guards saying one of them had gone missing? This drone's paired with his ID. They must have been assigned to the same route, but I don't see any guard anywhere around here. A broken drone, a missing guard. Something doesn't feel right. We've got to do something. Hack into the drone with your Legion, and let's see what it saw before it wound up like this. This drone's the key to finding that missing guard. I can feel it. Hack into it with your Legion.
What Hal's talking about these two guards, talking about a missing
Nice. Looks
Officer.
like some footage.
is that if you don't stealth bind them, but you're far enough to eavesdrop on them, they will talk about a missing guard that was on patrol here. And this is one of the few times where you're hacking with the Legion to grab video
Damn,
from
did you see that?
cameras
He just noticed something
is
coming from over
very
there.
cool.
What do you think he saw? Let's see if the camera caught whatever it was.
Basically, these orange sections tell you, or like your key points to know what happened and all that. And the last thing to check is this one here. And you get to see that the drone gets
He keeps
flown
looking around.
or
I guess he
thrown
lost
to a different
sight
segment of
whatever
it.
He was after. He sees something again, and then that's the last we see of him. And wouldn't you know it, the drone got wrecked at the exact same moment. Whatever went down right here. The culprit doesn't show up on camera. Are you thinking what I'm thinking? It's gotta be a Chimera. If it got him around 2, we may not be too late to save him if we find him fast.
So basically, we have to summon our Legion, go forward to it, and
A gate! With redshift levels as high as his were, our guard probably saw the Chimera and decided to follow it. But it looks like it found him before he found it, then dragged him through the gate. We've got to try to save him. Let's go in.
More footprints for our non-distinct stealth mission.
Look, there's our man over there.
Technically, this part where the
These must be the culprits.
this shield enemy
Get him out of here.
is here to ruin our day, and we just have to defeat the burrowing shield enemy with a couple of these normal shield enemies. They're very simple to take down because they don't have a lot of HP. Also, the blue shield is a godsend to stop some of these enemies from advancing. Very easy thing to do, but we're not done with this yet. There's a couple more enemies that will show up. A Zeus will show up. And technically, if you can just beat them up after like 2 hits, you don't have to do Zangetsu. And one of the achievements in this game is that you have to defeat multiple enemies in a row. So like it's very good to remind yourself that, well, we have some enemies to take out. Let's just do them all at the same time. And you can do that simply with like the Axe Legion's spin cycle, the Beast Legion's spin cycle, normal like special slash from the Sword Legion as well. That also guarantees a multiple slash. And as you saw, apparently my Howl was in the right area to grab and knock out the second shield enemy that was up above that I didn't see until this gel enemy got it. So I'm trying to find it now with how this camera is. So I just put out my Beast Legion to see if I can find it, and we just shoot it down with the Air Legion. Missed my 4th shot, but after that I just went back to Beast, howled, stunned the both of them, and just guarantee a double Zangetsu on both of them. Simple fight to do. And once you finish beating up all the chimeras, you just have to go to the officer to edit this red case.
He's alive, but his redshift levels are getting really high. Let's get him back to Earth. There's one more good deed for the day. I doubt he'll let us go just for saving his life, though. We should split before he wakes up.
Hal
sent out a distress signal for
does
his
make a
position.
good point
His
about
buddies will be here soon
him
enough. Let's get out of here before then.
not letting us go, even though we did save his life. So it's a very funny dialogue, but yeah, no, doing that is pretty good. Moving on forward, we have to go towards this segment here with the hermits. And if you remember, this is the segment where I got the thumbnail for this like specific part of the video, and still my favorite picture I've ever gotten from this game because of how well timed it was. Hauling these 3 hermits here will guarantee 3 of them will go down soon. And especially with the bomb on one of them and bomb on the other 2, it makes the job a lot easier to do. Knocking both of them down, I got 1 more shield left. I think this is the last one. And that was a very easy and simple red case. Try to keep your limiter up and don't take a lot of damage. Usually try to be unscathed, but yeah. It's a very simple and very easy case to do. Just prog up your blue shield and prog up a Howl, and you'll get out of here scot-free. Coming up is one of the more annoying one of the more annoying supply chests to grab, in my opinion, the entire game. because of one specific mechanic. You come up here and you have to chain jump from your normal position to this chest here. And there are a couple ways to do it. You can either like actually chain jump from it and dodge immediately after. You can position your legion, you and your legion are there, walk slightly forward, and as soon as you see your reticle for the legion show up on the desired platform, you can immediately jump after, because you're not forced out of jumping if you walk off an edge, though sometimes the lip get in your way. Another part is that, and I know I did it for this recording and you will see it, is that you can increase your chain length, and that's what I did with my Axe Legion. Remember me giving it like chain boost 1.0. The 1.0 means that the chain gets longer, meaning you can send your legion farther, or it can be farther away from you to attack some enemies and all that. And I usually try to do for the first one where I position my legion so that it's straight from me, walk forward, and wait until I fall. And once I fall and see that my legion is in the correct position, I immediately chain jump. But in this one, I just put 2 chain boosts of 1.2 meters, and it barely reaches it as soon as you go towards the edge. So it's a very hard one, and one of the more annoying ones to grab for completion. But if you see it and you can grab it, just grab it. I went back to having the sync heal with both chain boosts. It's really good. Having a quick cooldown secondary is also a very good thing to grab. Going on forward, we got a couple more red matter to collect, and jump down here. Technically, you don't have to jump down from the top of where we're at, but it's more beneficial that if you see that, just jump off towards the scaffolding and you'll be fine. But if you go towards this area here that we just found, it connects to the beginning part of this segment, but the only reason why we couldn't access it was because of these 2 cones. If you break those 2 cones near the beginning, you can go down that ladder and you can essentially skip these area, and you can just get to Zone 09 faster. But since we're not here to do this for the fastest time, we're here to grab all the completion, it's not worth it. We're coming near the actual entrance to Zone 09. We're just trying to collect a couple more chests before we are given the blue pass. And I thought this little pattern of rubble would be a dig spot, but no. Right now I'm just trying to grab these dumpsters and break them so I can grab a couple more field items. And that was very funny. If the item has no way to land, so like if it's inside a wall, it'll keep bouncing until it finds the ground to connect itself with. Another dropped item we can shoot from here. Still surprised I got it with how blocking my line of sight. And there is another like area up here where we can collect some some red matter. It's a very conspicuous spot, so it's very funny that I couldn't grab my allegiance to it, but dragging it back collected mostly all of the red matter there, so it didn't matter. Going on forward, we get our introduction to Zone 09 again.
Alright, we finally made it.
And
There should be plenty of people inside the camp.
one of the few things you can do is that the place or the persons of interest, the POIs, one of them is technically the sign for Sector 5 in Zone 09, so if you take a picture of that, you'll also be fine. Another one is the walls that take out Zone 09 from the rest. But going up these stairs here, or this ladder here, you can go back to where the entrance is, because we're still missing a couple things here. A couple of the some bits of red matter, a couple chests, and one blue case. Out to Dry is a very simple one where you have to avoid this person who got cranky and got kicked or can't get back into the Hermit or to Zone 09 or Sector 5 because he went out to do his laundry. But yeah. Basically one of the other funnier parts is that you can walk towards the gate and that's like your first instance of the hermits for your progression bar, but the gatekeepers there tell you cannot enter because of new rules and new management. It's very funny. But yeah, we just trying to find our way toward grabbing more of the chest, because there's a chest right there with some red matter. So we just go down and we try to find our way back up. That's the red matter there that we can collect. And every time I try to see like a dig spot, that's not the normal dig spot to collect. I usually have a beast legion to collect it. This chest is pretty inconspicuous and it's a very fun one to grab. And you see a little ladder you can go through. That if you remember that one item we dropped to, you can climb up it to grab the chest we saw behind a lot of the rubble. Also, this is the best way to get up to that area. Walk through that scaffolding, we see another blue case we can do. And this one is a very simple one. The injured lookout, we just have to give him some medicine for him to get back up. If you have, for some reason, you have no medicine to give him, what the hell are you doing? It's very funny though. This person also tells you that if you don't know how to do it, this person tells you that there is a back door or a back way to get into Zone 09. So if you don't know where to go, this person will most likely tell you after giving you medicine. Chain jump onto these very sketchy platforming setup, and we'll be able to grab this red matter here with a couple more chests. A very cool one to see, but it makes sense that most people would forget about this one because you're walking on very thin scaffolding. But yeah, now we're just trying to go back to where we entered Sector 5 in the first place. I was also reading my guide at this point to see if there was any chest that was missing, and it did say this area had a couple chests, and then I was rationalizing with myself saying that it probably is just on the upper floor of this area. So yeah, I also keep forgetting that there's a ramp there you can technically use to get onto the Zone 09 platform, but chain jumping is more in a sense like the technical correct way of doing it. We just go up here, go across this little gap, and we can cross over that little gap and move on forward. Also perfect. As you can see, even I was confused and took a picture of it. But now that we're in Sector 5, a couple of the red and blue cases here are only just based on the red and blue cases for this area. But yeah. We're also here to collect some of the other keywords to move on, and it just gives us more of a better chance of doing it. If you remember the list of getting into Sector 5 and learning about the hermits and all that, you know that technically it's hard to grab only the just the facts, especially if you're going for the blue cases. So the guide, and what I will honestly say as well, is to get every single note from these conversations and get the point, the, I always say achievements for this, but the point scores for well, I think it's just informant, which informant means you got every single like line of theory lines for this specific area. And I also got the hermatonic early because you're gonna need the hermatonic for a blue case going on, but for now you don't technically need it, but I'm getting it out of the way now so I don't have to buy it later. Also, I'm trying to read the map here, see if I'm missing any of the chests that help us. And any cases you've done in a previous attempt, so my LP or the my previous attempts doing this case to get all of the chests because I forgot them, is another very easy one. And this kanji seller, he is also tied to another achievement that you need to eat. I think it was like 7 bowls of kanji. And you can't skip the cutscene for eating the kanji. It is very, very funny, but very, very dumb that they just don't allow you to skip it. So, just enjoy me eating a bowl of kanji. And the animation for it, because god damn it, it is replayed a lot. And one other thing is that the photo order for this file is to take a picture of this man, which I do after eating 7 bowls of kanji. And the stuff you find in your kanji is just to sell. You don't use them. So if you get anything in your kanji, they're not beneficial to you. They're just salvageable items that you can sell for money, either from like the vendors, Ted, or some other shit like that. I think we did get 1 from the kanji seller back when we did file 5. So we only had to do like this 6 times to guarantee the prize. But yeah, no, there's like nothing else you can do for this segment. It's just, I would love to like skip it, but I'm showing you like how fast the game is letting you do it. And it also like puts me into the perspective of what I do when I usually record these. since these are just for oh wait, gives me going on a different topic, gives me this. Basically, when you get all 7 of the tickets, you well, you get like a random ability for your Legion. So it technically is not worth it, but it's dumb. Anyway, back to what I was saying about what I usually do when I'm recording these is that since everything but the beginning intro for this file I'm usually quiet, and I usually have like videos in the background from whatever I'm listening to keep my mind sane, but also to keep my well, myself at least there without like falling asleep, because some of the cases in this start to put me to sleep because of how much shit I have to do for red and blue cases. The lunch delivery one, we did it in the LP, but it's a very easy one to do where we have to give this person the piping hot lunch. He gives us the hermit card again, but if you have it from before, you can, it's still in your inventory, and you get free hermatonics from the vendor Zero. So it's really funny, but yeah, no, that's just how it is.
Hi there. Oh, these.
Every time I go back to the monitor set, I keep thinking that he has something else to say and some new shit to say, but I keep misremembering, and you have to wait a bit longer to get his dialogue and why he's the only person in this area to speak directly with voice lines. This eavesdropping here is a very simple way to get the notes for the Thin Man, and that's a very good one to grab as well. Going forward to here, we try to go up the ladder, but I'm trying to find some other conspicuous spots to find people to talk to. Also, if you remember that one case back, or you remember that there was just like some fighting that happened here. It's not here technically, but these signs are the best thing in this fucking game because they say throw me. Basically, if it's more of an actual direct telltale to say, hey, I can be thrown at enemies or just away in general instead of the usual green and yellow color scheme.
Iris startup. Information display. Iris shut down.
Going up the ladder now, we have to we actually get a couple more things to collect for completion and quests as well to do, which is very good to do. This sketchy woman here, if you talk to her, she keeps saying that you're my type and all that, and it's fucking very creepy. But the only time we have to talk to her is never, because she has an item next to her. I just wanted to talk to her to show that specific dialogue. Also, this like area of 3 dig holes, you can come with the Beast Legion and dig them all up, but it's not there. And if you're trying to figure out where some of the blue cases are, you can well, if some of the cases are there, you still don't get to them until you have to figure out where to do it. Also, we're basically talking about the whole thing of the hermits in front of 2 people here.
that way.
It is very
So
dumb,
far, it sounds
but
like
kind
they're
of
the good
funny.
guys, but what are the hermits doing to stop corruption from spreading?
But yeah, no, we're just trying to do all of
And
these
those
stuff
same
for
drugs
the
might be the ones
investigation
described in Jenna's files.
and
So what
trying
do
to
we
get
know
everything
about this
correct.
drug? What does it look like?
But
Right.
this
And if you
doesn't
took it,
automatically
it should
end the
save you
case, if
from
you remember.
redshift.
We're trying to find how to get into the Hermit's
So
Lair.
how are the drugs
And
getting
once
in
we
the
get
hermit's
to
hands
the
begin
point where
with?
we're trying to find how to get into the
Right.
Hermit's
People say
Lair,
they've seen him meeting with the hermits. I bet he's bringing the drugs in.
we get more
Everything
blue
in Jenna's
cases
files
to
points
do,
towards
so
the
we're
hermits.
not just
And I'm a little concerned
stuck.
about that outsider too. The hermits. We've come too far not to meet with them. We better find a way to get into their base.
After House says that, some cases become available, some other stuff becomes available, and it's very good to do. This is the item I thought was on the ground, but we had to stop this thing. That shock is one of the easier ways to do it. Cutting the line is also another one you have to do. You can shoot it down as well, but yeah. This forgetful man here has a blue case for us so we have to like find his gate pass that he buried so that the hermits like don't reprimand him and take it away from him. So yeah. You just have to go near a ladder to find his buried item, and the only ladder is the one here, which gives us the fake pass, which I wasn't expecting it to be there. But yeah, give the pass back to the forgetful man, and we're done with this blue case, and he gives us the thing for a tunnel. And well, it's this guy, this forgetful man, a different case with the monitor man, if you remember why I keep talking to him, or just eavesdropping the two guards for the tunnel, guarantees you progression into the Hermit's Lair.
Information display.
So I'm just trying to grab these three. The only cases I have right now are like
Shut down.
blue cases, and if you have your arm legion, you can push this sign down, which makes an easier way to get back into Sector 5. Very funny thing to do, and also very funny that the
Iris startup.
music changes based on where you're at.
Iris shut down.
So right now I'm trying to get to some areas, find the rest of the blue cases to do, and we are going to be moving on from here. This whole segment here is one of the longer parts because we're trying to figure out how to get to the Hermit's base. This little section where we're with these three children is that they're going to tell us how to get into the Hermit's Lair if we play a game of hide and seek, and you can technically find them without the Beast Legion's help, but the Beast Legion
Iris startup.
mostly guarantees
Iris shut down.
their findings and makes this case a lot easier than just blindly try to follow them.
Iris shut down.
One of them is just here acting as a third sibling to these two siblings, which is very cool and very funny that they just took that position, meaning you're keeping an eye on any changes to the people. The other one is more down, and it's more of a normal hiding spot where, well, it's much easier to show you with the camera. They're just hiding behind the wall. It's very funny. The final one is more of a hiding spot, but more funnier in my honest opinion because, well, it's much easier to show than tell. But yeah, each of the cans we've gotten correspond with their scent, which makes the Beast Legion very, very easy to just find them. So yeah, basically, he is near the beginning of this. Near the beginning of Sector 5, but
Iris startup. Information.
he is
Infor-
right there. That is a very good spot to hide. Once you find them all, you get another thing about the tunnels, but also one of them about the drunks will
Shut down.
be screaming about something, and that also gives us another part of what do you call it, of our progression with the
Shut down.
word. There you go. Can't speak for shit. This blue case here is the reason why I bought the Hermitonic. You give this drunk here a Hermitonic, and he'll drink it, and then he'll be technically able to tell us about some other shit about the hermits. I fucking love that animation, just that little thing. But yeah, basically we're gonna ask him about how to get into the Hermit's hideout. And he's one of the few people that gives us the secret passage, which also gives us a way, and will finally give us finally gives us a way to talk to the info dealer, and for him to finally talk to us about the more than just the normal monitor selling.
Hi there. You're not from around here, are you?
You could say that. We've got a problem, and we hear you might be able to help us out.
Ah, my reputation precedes me. It's hard being an info broker unaffiliated with the Hermits, but I get by. All right, what is it that you want to know? What are you asking around about a thing like that for? You're after dangerous information.
Look, we don't know much right now, but something bad could be about to happen here. We're just trying to stop it. That's why we need to know what they're doing.
Beats me why an outsider would care so much about this place, but I admire the passion. Reminds me of someone. Okay, I'm in. With some old construction records, you could probably find a way in nobody knows about. Good news, I have that data. Bad news, it's stuck on a crusty old server that needs more juice than I've got. If you can find a few power switches and help me borrow a little extra electricity, I could boot it up. I thank you.
Iris startup.
Your iris can show you the power grid. Just follow the lines, and they should lead to switch boxes. They'll be too high up to reach on your own, but the Arrow Legion should be able to help with that.
So yeah, this blue case here is all about like rerouting the power and giving the power to the
Display.
info dealer. And when that cutscene was going around, I looked at my notes again and get the final note for the informant part, and we're just gonna go around here trying to find the switch boxes, shooting them with the Arrow Legion, and those turn on, and you know that they're on when you see them light up.
Information.
There are only three. The first one is near the info dealer. The other one is near those three people, and where we got the gas bar
Iris startup.
info. And the last one is up. So you get to see where the line is. The only one that's not moving is the one going up. So go past the kanji cellar, go up the ladder, and follow the line towards the last breaker box.
Information display. Iris, shut down.
Hey, you! If you're looking for trouble, you found it. Maybe I ought to take you upstairs, so we can talk about what you're doing sneaking around here.
I don't like the sound of that. We've got to do something about these guys before things get ugly.
We're already upstairs though. But yeah, this blue case also has a segment where we have to fight 2 guards, and they're very easy. You can either fight them normally or just
That should be all the
find
power
them,
switches.
but yeah, no.
That's enough electricity for
That's
that old
it.
database. Let's go see if the monitor shop guy got it running.
Thanks for flipping those switches for me. I bet there's all sorts of forgotten info on this baby.
Awesome. I'd love to take a look myself. But first things first, did you find a way into the Hermit's hideout?
Looks like there's blueprints for the building from about 25 years ago. They show some ventilation ducts. One of them looks like it could lead you right inside. I'll send you the coordinates. Good luck with the Hermits.
Thanks. You've been a huge help. We might be able to sneak in through the ventilation system. I'll mark the coordinates on your map. Hopefully, this will bring us closer to figuring out what's going on. Let's get a move on.
And with that, we are done with asking around. Informant is the only way we can guarantee ourselves an S+ rank. So go talk to everyone about the Hermit, and they'll give you everything they can. Taking a picture of the kanji seller, stated very before, will give us the photo order for Upper's Delight. And before even going towards the Hermit base, we are missing 2 more cases. One's a red, one's a blue. And we're just going to be doing those 2 before we move on. This blue case here is a very simple one. We have to find the doggo, the missing dog. We just have to find the doggo and maneuver him back to well, the guy or the kid. As you can see, the dog's there, and he'll respond to basically us and the Legion. So your best bet is to kite him with the Legion, and he'll move around. Basically try to keep a wide berth between, or keep like a wide area between you and your Legion, and just move him back. Once he gets towards the wall, you can start moving him back without the Legion's help. And once he gets near the dog lover, you'll finish the blue quest. And a very simple quest to be done. Chain jump from here down, and we get a couple more red matter to collect, and another chest to grab. So we just have to go down here, chain jump to the inside of the train, and we get a chest in here. Very hard to collect normally, so that's the only way you can grab it. This chest here is a very simple one, just coming out of the train station, or the subway train. And I'm just looking at my notes here to see what I'm also missing, and this red case in the back over here is the final case we have to do. It's where we were before, but there was no one here. This simple red case of Protect the Meek, we just have to do the exact same as we did before with the officer. We just have to come up here and destroy them. Very, very, very simple red case to do. Just go for unscathed and you'll be fine. But yeah, now we get to move on forward. And if anything, you can come here to grab a picture of the vendor, the rude vendor, and well, if you still want to, you can try to eavesdrop and grab the ventilation duct there. but that red case or that blue case automatically gives it to you, so we just have to go down and open up the ventilation duct. We are now technically halfway through this and an hour and 44 minutes within this recording. God save my soul. Technically, there are no more buried or like no buried items to collect at this point. But if you want, you can just switch to your Beast Legion and dig up everything that's around here, and you'll be fine. So yeah, we just get a bunch of cat food and the actual way to open up the way. I'm just trying to get every other dig spot out of the way before we open up the actual way. But yeah, you're done, and we get to move on forward. Into the ducts we go.
Okay, our coordinates put us right.
This
back
segment
at base.
here, there are a couple of
Careful, though.
collectibles here,
There's people under us.
and if
Try not to make any loud noises.
anything, I keep misremembering it, but I also kept thinking that I don't know what I was talking about when doing this blue case, because, and I quote, in my notes were, as soon as you get into the vent, instead of going left, you go right, and or instead of going left, you go right, and I'm just like, what the hell is it talking about? But if you push against that specific wall you saw me run up against, or not that one, this one right here with the grates, it slightly gets pushed off, and you can collect a drop item with a pamphlet, and that is basically our toilet for this segment. But if you look down, you get to see a hermit take a dookie, and he has some dialogue about his thing, and it's very funny to see. You can just stay there for as long as you want and read the entire dialogue of it. And me being a paranoid completionist, I keep thinking that I didn't get the paper, though that paper was the dropped item we collected. So since there's like no way to actually get into the bathroom for this part, I keep thinking that we missed the paper and we missed the toilet. But as you saw on the left, we got nature's calls. So it's just me being paranoid and me reading this segment just because I wanted to. It is very funny, but eventually I do just stop looking at that and just move on. There's one more dropped item in this segment before we go on to the segment with Kyle. And where you see the check mark is, just go right on this part before meeting with the hermit.
Look at us.
And that is our last dropped item in this vent section. So yeah, 2 stuff to collect in this part, and we are done.
Sounds like something's going on down there.
And as soon as you look down here with the
Guy down there's fighting a chimera.
hermit fighting the chimera, we're just gonna be here talking and waiting. But
Here comes someone.
I'll stay quiet again so you can hear Kyle.
How's our latest sample looking?
It changes a little person to person, but generally, 1 dose is enough to get them fighting fit.
Great. Now our missing associate's our only problem. New info on that.
I'm sorry, sir. I've got everyone on the lookout for intel, but we've come up with nothing.
Think credit says he went through a gate then.
Whoa.
Too easy. We won't get useful results with a weak-ass Chimera like that. Still, though, this batch is legit, no doubt about that. The days of cowering in fear are over. Soon, we can strike back. I'd like to see those Central bastards do this. What do you think, boys? Feel like saving the world? Come on. Make sure our audience up there hears it.
What?
What are you waiting for? Get down here and let me give you a proper welcome.
You don't suppose he's
Basically, you can't skip this
Let's
cutscene,
get out of here before.
but you can skip the one of you talking to Kyle before the fight starts. And this entire segment here with the proving your strength is a red case, and it's one of the few parts where you can take pictures of each and every version of the Hermit, and it's very cool. So each Hermit has their own specific thing, and I saw a one on the ground, and I'm just like, what the fuck was that? Also, the Hermit drone that is flying with the drone operator is another thing you can collect for your Enemypedia, so don't forget that one either. But yeah, this is a very simple very simple case to do, because it's just fighting, and basically, since this one you can't do it fast enough, try to vary your sync attacks, your Legion's abilities and shit like that, and try to keep your limiter up as well, so you can get limiter max. And the fight with Kyle is also pretty simple, but just try to vary your abilities of stun, of stuff like that. By the time I was recording this, I didn't have my favorite skill to grab, and later on you'll see it, but how to make some bosses in some parts of the fight not annoying, doable and shit like that, is that you plug in a house in the Beast Legion, just waiting for him to get off his thing. If it's too far away, prog up a power charge, and immediately after doing a power charge, you can go to your Arrow Legion, prog up the if you want the blue shield, but usually do your spin cycle. Then you do a spin cycle, you charge with your Axe Legion, and you immediately go towards the his back to do more damage, and it makes this segment pretty simple to do. Also, having the Arrow Legion's hit rush also makes part of it pretty simple, because since the Arrow Legion is the ranged shooter out of everyone, you just have to deal with him just shooting at him. Also, hitting Kyle with any of the throw me signs also puts him in a stun lock. So it's a very simple thing to do. Just vary between howling, stun grenades, hitting them with hit rushes from your Arrow Legion, and a throwable.
You're incredible. You're amazing.
Vary it up, get your syncs up, get your abilities up and all that. You'll be getting an S+ through combat alone. Now that we're going up to the Hermit Slayer, I don't think the Hermit Slayer contributes to a specific achievement, because you're forced into that one. But this is a very simple case to do, and the Hermit Slayer after that also guarantees us some chests that you saw me collect or just miss in general during this OP.
Are you coming or what? And don't blame me if you get lost down here. Not like you know your way around.
One other thing about the
Who knows what kind of stunt he might pull.
Now, that's no way to be a friend. You could hurt somebody's feelings.
The thing is that once you get into this segment, you can actually try to run out without getting Douglas's case, And it is shown
Here it
here
is. Our
because I
lovely
forgot to grab it and it started running out without
Don't be
Douglas's
shy. Make yourselves at home.
briefcase. And Hal does comment on that, so it's very funny. But now that we got to
So-
this part, and we're talking to Kyle about how to find Douglas and all that. Once you get out of Kyle's office, you actually are given the choice for another red case. And this red case is the same as before with the one for proving your strength, the one where you're fighting the hermits. And it's basically a small glimpse into Fall 12.
Wait, aren't you gonna get the case off that table? It's the only clue we have to help us find Douglas.
That's a very funny
Alright,
interaction you
looks
can
like
grab.
our best chance is to find this Douglas. Let's start by getting out of here. We'll begin investigating once we're outside. Kyle, he doesn't seem like a bad guy really, but something feels different. Nothing. Just, never mind. Come on, let's find Douglas and then get back home.
Man, I love that little thing. You just have to wait for Hal to shut the fuck up before you can talk to this hermit instructor. The hermit's training is where you're back into the little area where you fought Kyle and the hermits. And you have to fight a bunch of normal legions. And I do mean what I mean. This is basically your first introduction to what File 12 is gonna be. At least one of the parts of File 12. I'm not gonna explain why, but I'm just gonna say that this does show what File 12 is gonna be, and it is annoying sometimes. But yeah, right now we fought through a Elias and the smaller shield enemy. Right now we're going through a normal Beast Legion with its own children after a howl. And it's very funny that you don't have to dig up the burrowing shield enemy. You can just howl it and it'll automatically go up on its own. Because I thought it would just stay there. But to guarantee an S+ in this case, it's the same thing as the Hermit's one before. You just have to get a bunch of sync attacks, abilities off, use all your legions, because one of the little points adder is Legion of Legions, where you use all your legions. You can even be for like a couple frames for some of them, but you have to have all your legions be out and about. This segment here with the slimes is very good, especially since if you have an active spin cycle and your blue shield up, you could just take out 3 of them at the same time. But I just mashed A because grabbing my health, apparently to me, is more important than starting the starting more progress for the defeat 3 or more enemies achievement. But as you can see, that's a lot. Also, the round bullet is very good for that group of enemies right there, because you get a lot of bullets on a lot of these gel enemies, and once you plug in the hit rush, it also helps out as well. More howling and more spin cycles to go, and makes this segment pretty trivial. If you are getting to this point now in the game, after fully upgrading your Arm Legion, one of the final skills you grab is Galaxy Storm or Gravity Storm, and Gravity Storm also makes this segment here a cakewalk, because it automatically puts a gravity pull up, and the whole point of that gravity pull is that it pulls enemies towards it. And it can be any enemy, so basically like big or small. Mostly if you're a small grunt, you're more susceptible to the Gravity Storm. Basically, if you can get affected by Howl, you can most likely get affected by Gravity Storm, with some notable exceptions. And if you want to guarantee the achievement for yeah, guarantee your achievement for multiple KOs in once, you can just use Gravity Storm and do it. This Bryce enemy is our last enemy to do for this case, and he is an annoying one to fight because he is an arm enemy. But yeah, using the good old howl to stun him, and going back to the Axe Legion for its simplicity of its spin cycle is really good. Also, if you're very good at timing your dodges, you can dodge its ground pound, and its perfect dodge sync attack for the Axe Legion is very good to pile on the damage. But with that, we are done with the Hermit's training and guaranteeing us another S+. Very fun thing to do, and that is the only thing the Hermit instructor will give us. I think if you talk to him, he can do it again, but that might be me just misremembering something I did back in the back when I first played this game. So yeah, now that we're outside the Hermit's hideout, Hal will tell us to use the Beast Legion, but instead of going through the subway, we go towards this area here. In the middle of this circle of red matter is a buried item. So at least this one tells you where to go. It's a very simple one to do, and a lot of red matter to collect here as well.
With location data from the nearest match in the police database, and okay, yeah, I get it. Now is not the time.
In one of my previous recordings, I actually went and grabbed all of that and just had my character in the sync mode for the Arrow Legion, the precision shooting, and just aiming it at Hal, just a thing to shut him up. But the reason why for this specific cut is that I actually missed the golden slime. To get the golden slime, you have to go through this area and grab that one chest. Once you grab that chest, you can start attacking this gold slime because it just spawned after opening it. It's a very funny one, but one of the more annoying ones to grab, because once it gets into that open area, you are most likely stuck to it. Also, I think this is one of the few parts where I keep thinking round swords does something to the slime, and as you can see, it doesn't. It's very dumb that the Legion skill does not work. But once it's in this part here, it will just despawn. And that just causes you to miss it. If you miss a golden slime, you just have to go back to its location on a different attempt and do it. And as you saw, my clothes for this for that attempt for getting the slime were different. You can just do any of these files at any point, and stated back when we were doing the whole sinking section with Case Earth Chapter 3. Yeah, I know you're forced to drop civvies, but if you just want to reload and do all of the stuff with your police desire on, you could just start off from Chapter 4. And Chapter 4 gives us a better way of using our police attire. I think because doing the Legion or the Legion of Hermits fight also does not let us be in our attire. I think as soon as we try to enter Zone 09 through the sneaking sections, we're forced into the draft cities. After that, we can just replay the segment and be on our normal police attire, just saying screw Hal. When I was recording that segment, I could have honestly gone back to my draft cities, but I said no and just went on. Now that we're back here on these 4 buildings, I will honestly say these 4 buildings were a problem for me for completion, because I am misremembering some stuff for collection. I am remembering some stuff as other stuff as well. So this whole segment for collection is going to be the most scuffed collection you get to see, but not the most like cuts you get to see. This is also your best bet to get a lot of the pictures for the aberrations. So if you're missing some pictures for the aberrations, you just have to well, for your Wikipedia. Once you shoot down that area here, we can actually go to that area there and change them, but technically you can get there normally from just wrapping around it, but it's more funnier. Just go here and shoot that one item there. That's a dropped item as well. And I think now is when I start doing some of my second guessing myself for collection. But yeah, it should be, yeah, I think it should be right around here where I start second guessing myself with collection and all that. But yeah, no. I wanted to start. I wanted to say this. When doing the when reading the guide, I won't put a picture. I won't put a picture up, but the guide put these buildings into 4 separate quadrants, and it's very good to actually remind yourself that these quadrants are a thing. Also, I like right now trying to grab a picture of these aberrations without getting hit and trying to get all of them because male and female ones are funny. I saw one and I missed one because my camera was too shaky. Also, apparently, when I have my camera out, I'm getting hit in the back, which is very fun. Still don't understand what I was missing though for a picture. Probably like a male archer. Oh no, I was missing the male sword and shield. But after that, I went for a spin cycle, but got denied because of sword and shield enemy. But after that, I got the full sync for the 360, or for the the 360 input of Sword Legion. Made this aberration cleanup a lot more helpful. But now we just go up the ladder. Well, we don't go up the ladder yet. I think this is when I also start second guessing. Yep. This is where I start second guessing myself again. But basically, if we walk under these stairs here, we get towards a little alcove with a chest with the cardboard box. If you remember file 7, where I wore the cardboard box for the intro, this is where you get it. So yes, you can get it in this chapter and then immediately put it on for the next chapter if you want to. It is very funny, but I love it. Anyway, as soon as you walk out of this alcove here, you are shown towards another segment with chest. Right there. This segment, basically you can get this one first, then the cardboard box, or vice versa. Either way, these two are the only items you can collect as well, and try to remind yourself that there are items under this ladder, or this set of stairs.
Aberrations, now chimeras. You know what that means. There's probably a gate nearby.
As soon as we get to this segment here, we are almost done with file 6. But I will state this, and as you saw in the description below, this file has 9 chapters, and It is a doozy. It is really much a doozy to do, which is why this is one of the longer chapters in the game for base game, and still one of the longest cases I've done for recording. As you can see from the timestamp, it is like almost 3 hours. Short like 4 to 5 minutes, probably 3 with
Here we go.
recording. Also, as soon as you pick up the chat or the garbage can, be careful not to aim it off the wall, because the arm agent will throw it and the items are gonna be thrown at the wall. It's pretty much a waste of free items. But now going into the astral plane, the only astral plane section for this entire chapter, where we have to go find Douglas. And more chests as well are going to be collected in this area as well. This is going to be our first example for the
Picking up a biosignal.
good old disappearing floors.
Give it a look with your iris.
And I think I got most of these on my second attempt of collecting the items, so yeah. Keep your eyes peeled for the majority of them. This part here is a very simple one where you have to like use your Legion to find the disappearing platforms and then go chain jumping toward this little alcove here, or this little platform here, to grab one chest. And there is another one right under it as well, as you can see, but it is very hard to get. I just went down here to start the fight, but you can just go backwards and just say screw it. That chest over there is another one we can grab, and another one you can just technically miss, but if you're going through the stairs, you will see it. Another one is in that little alcove there. A very missable one if you're not turning your camera every 30 seconds. But instead of like moving on to the fight, I actually went back up the stairs because there is another encirclement of red matter, and in the middle of that one is also another buried item. Very simple one to miss as well, but technically it's a telltale sign at this point that if you see an encirclement of red matter, it's going to be a buried item. But yeah, now that we get all the chests, all the chests and collectibles we can in this area, we just have to move on forward. Since it's just these good old speedster enemies, beating them up with the Sword Legion is very simple. And makes pretty much makes cakewalk of this area, or that segment. I don't think there's any more buried items in this segment. I may be wrong, maybe misremembering, because how my editing process goes for these background footage before I have to VL them is that I usually just remember that I got most of them, then tell myself I missed the 1 or 2 chests in a chapter. I replay the chapter from the chapter before. So if I missed an item in chapter 5, I play chapter 4 if I can, if it's not too long, to get the transition for chapter 5 as seamless as I can, so you guys don't notice it. And that's how much it works for it as well. But if I miss it, I just do it again. And I technically don't see all of the mumbo jumbo I miss. I usually just try to grab each of the areas and cut them up into good segments for your viewing pleasure. But the audio mixing is still the same. The voiceover is a little louder. But yeah. That chest here is another one. Another technically missable one because it's in an alcove, but if you're trying to find it, you'll see it. once we get into this area here with the Hestia fight, it is a pretty simple fight to do. After the Hestia fight, actually, there is going to be a chest you can collect as well, and it's going to be very funny to do. But yeah, simple Howl of the Beast Legion didn't grab it, and technically how you usually do this fight is that you're trying to stop it from attacking you, and most of the time it usually gets onto the astral matter that disappears, the disappearing platforms, so it makes it kind of annoying to fight with. But if you do like spin cycles and all that with an Axe Legion or the Beast Legion, you're gonna be fine, because it usually keeps the Legion close to you and doesn't make the platforms go into limbo. I'm trying to find out another item we can grab here, and I'm thinking it's the one in the alcove that I didn't collect, but it is the one I collected. So yeah, I'm just counting the check marks we have here with the guide, and trying to see if I was missing anything. Also, that one missing buried item, you guys have already seen it in post editing. I forgot to put it. It's like my second time I forgot to put it in the recording because I am me. So you guys would have seen it. That's all like the collectibles gotten as well. But basically from the platform onward, you get to see a little sparkle of like invisible platform. You go there onto these two platforms, and you have to chain jump on the farthest one. Then after that, you walk towards the other one. That one slowly brings you up towards this one here, and this is another chest you can miss, and most likely will miss because it's out of the way. It's very much out of sight, out of mind. Also very happy I landed on that platform and not to my grave, but I still have to go down. It's dumb, bro. But since we got the checkpoint up here, we can just move on. Also, be careful with your Legion when you're doing this segment, because if the Legion gets crushed, it automatically removes all your limiter, meaning you have to wait for your Legion to respawn back, and it's not a fun predicament to be in, waiting for your Legion to come back. But yeah, right now we're just gonna get going on. There are a couple more chests you can grab if you go onto this platform here and move up, and that moves up and down, make you go all the way up, and you can chain jump on the top of these platforms here to get a chest. If you can't chain jump to the other one on a different segment, just go to the next one and chain jump to the chest there. Another very missable one if you're not looking out for it. You'll see the alcove, but you don't know how to grab it. But it also is a very easy way to skip the moving platform section of this part. So, yeah. But not for me though, because I wanted to grab that red matter. Hooray for juicy red matter. But yeah, very simple to do, just chain jump across. But yeah, if you're grabbing the chest, you'll skip the majority of this segment. Right now I'm also reading the guide again for another chest on the way. And when you fight these mini Alos, you get to get some really good Zangetsu for more of your limiter and all that. These are very easy enemies to fight. The stinger input for, or the stinger sing attack for your blaster mode with the Soul Legion is very good. since you go closer and the Sword Legion knocks them up, which makes it a very good and a viable option to not anti-air, but to make the Alos have more of a fighting chance. And I think coming up, not one of my least favorite parts about this collection for the Astral Plane, but one that I genuinely forgot to do, and I had to do later. But if you're trying to do it for your first time, it's gonna get kind of annoying. Also, very surprised that I got that to work. But I almost changed it across. Wait for the Astral block to go up, change up across, and we get to another fight with 2 mini Alos and a shielder enemy. Very simple one to do though, since it's a mini Alo and a shield enemy. A sync attack from it will knock out the mini Alo and the shield type enemy. So if you get both of them at the same time, you will just knock them out. Very simple to do. And the next chest is actually in the alcove where the elevator is. Simple one to grab. If you miss that one, you're just wanting to miss it. Also trying to do this one where you have to slice the blocks together, but I keep missing, and I also after a while thought that you can't even do it because you're too far away. So try to do it like one more time, but just one on the fact that they're too far, so I just went with the Arrow Legion, try to shoot them. Trying to lead my shot. I'm really good at shooting, guys. But yeah, I'm almost missing this cluster of red matter as well to collect. We're almost near the end of this segment, or this Astral Plane segment, and we're going close towards my least favorite part about collecting in this in this chapter of Fall 6, because of the combination of me being blind, me forgetting that this item existed in the first place, and how the game portrayed or shows it. After getting this item here, instead of moving forward towards this area after cutting it down, you turn around and you chain jump towards that one moving platform that was trying to crush us earlier. After that, you chain jump to the next moving astral matter right there, and you have it move you toward this pillar right here. And at this point, you've already gotten it, and if you saw very carefully, go back and read if you want, if you saw very carefully, you saw a red shine in the background. That red shine is an astral matter you have to shoot with the Arrow Legion. I never saw that in the 2 times that the camera has panned, so I'm just going around lazily and very idiotically going on this one, which you don't even have to go on this moving block. The only reason for this moving block in general is to make your connection towards the other astral block much easier, but you don't have to go here. So during me moving back and forth with this astral matter, I went back to read the guide I had open, and read it almost perfectly. I think I misinterpreted 1 or 2 things about it.
Signal's still strong. Let's find it before that changes.
Very funny about that Howland direction. I turned on my my iris, and then I saw what I was missing. Missed the chain jump, so I just went off the map to get respawned back at the top of the stairs, where we can just change up off. Go to that one there, and walk on this platform here. And as you saw it, it's in the background. This is the only way you can know that it is there to shoot. So you have to wait until it gets up, shoot the very edge of it, and this platform will move you to the chest at the very bottom of this. One of the most annoying ones to collect, and if you don't know how to grab it, it will take you a while to grab it. So there it is. It kind of gets annoying after a while though. But remind yourself that as soon as you get onto that platform there, don't move anymore. Turn on your iris and see where that thing is connected. To get back up to where we were, you can either, if you want, jump off the cliff again to respawn at the top, but I think you respawn where the chest was. Because this game has a sets of good old reviving you and like getting you back up from where you fell. Going to this part right here, just moving it up and next to the Douglas. Once we move up here, rescuing Douglas, we just have to get through a very simple and very easy red matter or red cave. That was a very good how that got most of the speedster enemies. And at this point, I said screw it. I wanted to do a spin cycle and defeat as much of these as I can, which took out 3 in a row. And a crash bomb there just in case they want to be funny and get to me. One of them did, it got blown up, and I got my health back. And after that, we get our fight and our rematch with Tartarus. Good old Tartarus. But you know, the fight with Tartarus is also a very simple one. If you want, you can just deal with it by howling it. It also, I think, gets a set of armor as well when it howls, so be careful of it. And just don't take too much damage from it. If you want, you can use your sync attacks, perfect calls, use a bunch of your legions as well. Blue shield is going to help you out a lot since its ground pound attack is very, very hard to deal with. Its little 360 mace attack it does is also very annoying to deal with, which is why I always put a blue shield up. Once it gets to its red area, it does a very mean and very damaging energy blast, but after that, it can't do it anymore. So just try your best to do it. Also, since I started it with the Beast Legion, it was very easy to just knock it down. Hit Rush also made this very susceptible. Growing out my round swords as well to deal even more damage. And the end of Tartarus. Very simple. Just be careful, because if you get damaged too much, you won't be able to grab the S+. But yeah, trying to figure out the rest of the way and trying to grab the rest of the red matter before we go back and deal with the remaining of this case. So yeah, let's just get to the end of this chapter, and I will state this though, the last part, the latter half of this case is gonna be annoying to deal with, because me reading the guide and me messing myself up and psyching myself out towards collecting all of the items in this. And this is where the naming convention for each of the buildings are going to be known, where they're going to be called building 1, 2, 3, and 4, and we are technically on building 1. The Hermit's Aberration is going to be an annoying case to get an S plus rank in, because if you want to get the pure defender one, you're going to have to be on your best guard to protect Kyle. And as you saw, Kyle got hit already immediately once, and he will get hit again from another axe right about now. It's kind of dumb, and I thought when I first did this case, I thought as soon as it hit him, it made it impossible. It made it like dumb to do it, but I still got an S plus, and I got just defender for it, so it still worked. You don't have to get the security camera about it. You could just go here and go up the stairs, but if you go immediately back downstairs toward the area where you first had, or where you had to fight that big encampment of the aberrations after you shot down the thing, or the platform, you will see a dropped item here as well. And I will state this: when I did this, I kept thinking this part where you had to go back to building 1 was this segment, building 1, because it said go across the bridge towards building 1, and I interpreted that as going back across the thing and going back to building 1, but no. I'm just misremembering it and making more work for me than it should have been in the start. So yeah, now I'm just here reading to figure it out while the game just auto heals me. And I'm still in the same scenario, or still in the same bucket as trying to figure out where it is. But go back upstairs, and I go up the actual intended story route where you go up this ladder here and you get thrown by aberration. Once you get to that point, you know you're going in the story direction, not the items direction, which also threw me for a loop, and I went back down the ladder. So for me trying to figure out where I'm supposed to go, I still keep going the wrong way. Also, since I saw like a ladder on my side, I tried to figure out how to get to that ladder and figure out how to get to that ladder and pick up the item that I missed there. Now I'm opening up the map to see like if I'm going the right direction and trying to show it. And the only reason why I never cut these parts out of the video is for a single reason: to show you guys that though I have played this game a lot of times, I've completed this game a lot of time, or completed the collection for this game a lot of times through each case, I still get messed up with the general directions and like how the game will present itself as well. So if you feel a little frustrated for trying to figure out where items are, don't worry, this still happens to me, and I've read a guide for a while. This little segment here where you're walking across like a very thin platform is not until later. So I will also state that this is a different part for a collection. Like you're supposed to be there. You're supposed to go to that part for an item collection later. But this is me getting to that point early on and making the segment a lot harder than it needed to be. But going back up towards the ladder again, trying to find my way there. I know for me it actually hits me, and then I just become a massive idiot, that the bridge behind Kyle is walkable. So, like, just for like a little caveat, and just to save you guys some time from being an idiot like me, the bridge behind Kyle is the one that is walkable and the bridge that the guide tells you to go toward. Once I figured that out, I legitimately wanted the facepalm. But this segment here with the gate here is also another one we have to close. It's not a gate one though, so we just have to move across it. Just find the one. Also, it's a very funny thing that if you do get hit at the same time you bind a gate or an opponent or something like that, you automatically get back on your feet. You do get some of the knockback, but you automatically do get back on your feet. And well, moving onward from here, we get the red matter removal, and we get this chest up here on a spot that we couldn't get normally because it is so high up. And well, now we get to move on forward towards another part of the completion, which I do love, but I think I almost got a game over on. So yeah, I'm still reading the guide slowly through this section because I honestly did not want to do this section again for completion. Going through it normally is long enough with the amount of stuff you have to do for like astral matter, fighting, and stuff like that. So I wanted to get through this as fast as I can and more concise than I can. So me stopping at every point to read the guide is gonna be a point that I'm gonna have to point out a lot. We're going up to this ladder here. After the chain jump, we get another chest, and farther down we get another one with oxygen barrier. Load up and we get another premium material code. And I keep thinking that this area here has something, but no, it's just useless. But we just go back down and go back across the segment because we're gonna have to go through the normal story progression to get through or to get towards our next point of interest. This is just me trying to go onward. This segment here with the two platforms the Armed Legion can move. This segment here, we get to fight another enemy that is only specific to this case. And if you don't know about it, it's going to be one of the few enemies that you're gonna forget. Like, I honestly will say that. These two enemies here, Astral and Complicit, are two enemies that you're gonna most likely miss when you are just going to go through it. And each of them have their own database. And I got instantly knocked down, and both of Astral and Complicit, they have their own alignment with the element. Complicit is more electric oriented and will stun you a lot, which is one of the better people to take out, while Astral is more the wind oriented and will make tornadoes to knock you off your feet. After you do enough damage to one of them, it doesn't have to be both, but once you do enough damage to one of them, they'll do the fusion dance and transform into Astral Complicit. And you thought I was joking. This guy also has his own thing to do, and it's one of the few times where I almost got an immediate game over without me noticing. So yeah, this enemy here is very, very tanky, very bulky. It does a lot of damage. So your best bet for like an S plus on this fight is just to vary your options, vary your legions. Basically, anytime it's like this, have fun. Go for sync attack, go for perfect calls. Don't be discouraged into doing something stupid, because if it would work out into a sync attack or a perfect call or something like that, it'll work. My only advice other than that is to not die. Though if you do die, you won't like lose your rank a lot. Dying in general is not a good thing to do, because you're just wasting time to grab an S+. So take your time, but have fun, experiment, And in this area, there's actually a chest down those stairs that is very funny to figure out. Rooftop rescue. Very fun case to do, but it is going to be one of the few enemies that you're going to forget if you're not going for completion, or if you are trying to go for completion and not follow a guide. Because it is there, you will see the two platforms going towards it, but it's going to be hard for you to figure out where do I go. But now that we're like done with that case, we can actually move on and move back towards story progression to find the remaining chests that we're missing. Yeah, now I'm reading it again. Yeah, basically reconfirming for myself that we could just move on. We can go back on this platform here and move it forward. And if you remember the small lip we were on last time, like very last time, I'm trying to find it here, taking the platform all the way to the left instead of all the way to the right. And me thinking that I already missed the item, where in fact I haven't missed the item. I'm reading the guide again to figure out that if I missed it or not. I thought it was a little scaffolding I saw at the top, but no. Basically, if you want to avoid the situation here, that little alcove is where the item is, and I'm trying to figure it out because I technically have been here before. I'm just making my Axe Legion circle around, see if I can find any other spot to be on. And since there's like no reticle for the Legion, that tells me that there is no like visible platform to be on. So I technically cut my losses and went into this alcove here. And this is the one where I couldn't see the stairs. And going down these stairs will give us another chest in this area, and you can technically grab it immediately, but it's much more easier to grab it when you're coming back from the Asterius Capenius fight. So either way, choose what you want, either do it early or do it after the fight. Either way, that chest is here, and that was one that you saw me like lollygag towards. Now that we've gotten all the chests we can in the two areas we have done before, we just have to move back and follow Douglas towards the rest of the story progression. So now we can actually progress with the story. We already defeated the aberrations here, and if you thought you're gonna get shot again with another aberration, no, you only get shot once by an aberration. One other thing is that you can just move behind this area, and I'm trying to find a cat. The cat for this area is also here, and is only during this part where if you turn on your iris, if you turn on your iris, it's gonna be behind this vending machine here. To get it normally, you have to wrap around, but instead of going to your right and you go left, you'll find another chest in an alcove. Another missable one if you're not trying to find it. But just going on forward and forward towards it, you see the cat there, and I thought I can just grab it towards the wall. No, this ain't a buggy piece of a game. You just have to keep moving forward. It is in an alcove where you see a bunch of trash. To collect the cat, you have to like break apart the trash. You have to like either send your Legion forward, or if your Legion has Call Burst, it will also work to your advantage as well. So yeah, this little alcove here is under that bag of trash, and if you have Call Burst, it makes it easier, but just send your Legion at it, you'll pick up the cat, and that is the feline rescue for File 6. Very late into the game too, so if you keep forgetting about it, ugh, good luck for you. Now that we're at this part where the whole astral plane is merging with Zone 09, basically, like, I don't know if this is what the pandemic was back in the day, but it's just how it is. Technically, how I do this case is that I try to keep the unscathed multiplier in, so don't take too much damage. And you'll be fine. If anything, if you try to do like the normal way, it's gonna be harder because since the idols are small, you're not gonna be dealing damage to them. The only way you can deal damage to them is through the blaster mode in your X-Baton, or just doing sync shots with your Arrow Legion.
Switch on your iris. I bet the trail continues.
You can still get to follow Douglas, and there's basically no way you can get to that part without like taking any damage and all that. So we're just waiting for the Astral block to appear, and we can change up across them. And so far, like for chests, we're only missing like I think 1 or 2 more chests in the area, and we are done with the collection of the game. I know there's like 1 more in the final chapter of this game, or final chapter of this file, which if you saw the LP, I think you would have seen me collect it. It's a very hard to miss one because I think in the LP I just waited for everyone to run away, which gave me the chance to just remove it. Going up here towards this section, if you want, you can analyze the thing again.
There are still survivors. Wait, no.
And right now we get to see a bunch of the civilians red shifting again. Still, it's another one we can do. Also very happy that my 360s still do not want to work. And just trying to collect the rest of the red matter as well. Honestly, the whole setting for Zone 09 when it's like this, I like to call it the post-pandemic, because I don't know how the pandemic was when this game first was released, and I really, if they do make it like an Astral Chain 2, they either would make it a prequel sequel, where we get to play as like Max and the gang during the times of like the invasion and all that, the pandemic and stuff. But knowing how this game is going to be, and wanting a game is something that most gamers want, but I don't know, I don't see an Astral Chain 2 coming out, but that's just me. The fight here with Diomedes is also a very simple one to do. If you saw me trying to do this in the old recording as well, I was trying to do this whole case with Unscathed. Try to guarantee you're unscathed and you get an S+. I think I got attacked once with Diomedes and did not get the unscathed bonus. Nearing the end of this whole shebang puts us at chapter 9, and the final chest for chapter 9 is literally right in front of us. That is the final item for this entire chapter. So everything has been collected and shown so far. We just have to finish the entirety of this area. Also, I keep finding it funny that this is basically a pre-version of Hal's hideout. Very cool. Also, I know my first recording, like doing this for the LP, I got hit by him, and every subsequent way of doing this case, I always try to do a perfect call, or like a parry basically with the Axe Legion, and I always mistime it. But we're nearing the end. We get to see that Douglas is down again, and just skip through the dialogue.
Iris, shut down.
The whole thing with the homunculus fight is a consistent thing of speed and accuracy. Try to get your Legion of Legions as well. So it's not like the one in Arc Mall. The fight in Arc Mall. Genuinely surprising that I beat it that fast with the legions I had. This one, you can also finish it pretty easily if you do a lot of damage. But if you want to do the preamble about that, try to not get too damaged within the fight before the Homunculus beta fight. Because if you do get damaged, it doesn't devaluate your rank, but it will make the fights and you taking some stuff a lot more harder than it should be. The whole first part with the aberrations is just like a forced fight with aberrations. You don't have to do it. You can just wait, run around. You can have fun before the Homunculus beta shows up.
Supposed to be here? They're in way over their heads. What should we do?
That was the one dialogue I skipped in the entirety of the LP because I walked too fast. But what I did was that I went for a 360 with the Sword Legion, which made the cleanup of these aberrations much more simpler, much more cleaner, and all that. Very, very fun to do.
All right, fine. Have it your way.
And
To you once we're done with all these.
the whole part with this aberration fight is that it's only here to grab a bunch of gene code and all that, so it's a very good grinding spot for gene code if you very much need it. But as soon as the Homunculus beta comes out, any remaining aberrations will go towards the Homunculus beta. Speaking of Homunculus beta, his man is a very simple fight. Just try to deal with him. He's one of the few enemies that doesn't get dealt with Howl, so just try to avoid using Howl. If you want the small damage it does, then sure, go have some fun. But other than that, just avoid using Howl in this fight. Binding each of the limbs of the Homunculus also will make the not the fight easier, but will make you guaranteed to get some cool, nice earned damage because it's going to be excuse me, stuck on the ground for a bit. And once it's like that, you get to swap into your Axe Legion, do the spin cycle, get a bomb on its limbs and all that. But once it gets to the point where it starts running across the wall, you're almost done. You're technically almost done with this case once it starts going up the wall. This laser is also a very good one to do. That also gives you a semblance of how much progress you've done. But the only way you know when you're almost done with this case is that if you throw the big sign at it, it means that you're almost done. It should be coming up very, very soon where it starts running up the wall. But all the damage I'm doing it is very good though. There we go. It's scurrying along the ground to go up the wall. And basically once it does that, just try to switch to your Arm Legion. You can send it at it and it'll throw it. But once the laser shows up to do that, you'll know that it's gonna knock down the big sign and you can just throw it at the thing. You can pick it up early. Yeah, you can pick it up early as well. But this cinematic here is the only way you know that you're almost done. Once the Arm Legion throws the sign at the Homunculus, you can actually pile on more damage if you want to deal damage to it. But your best way is as soon as you finish doing damage to it, just do your Legion line. Once the homunculus gets up from its forced knockdown, it is in prime position to get chain countered. So as soon as you do the chain counter at any point, it finishes the fight. So just prepare yourself for that, and the whole homunculus beta fight is down and counted for the count. And well, that is the end for the entirety of File 6, one of the longest chapters in this game, and everything has been collected. All 17 red cases have been done, all the blue cases have been done as well, making us finish this long ass case. Thank you all for joining me today. Next time on Astral Chin, we're going to be going through File 7, a case that I had to do a lot of times for one case only. So, yeah. Thank you all for joining me today. And hope you all have a wonderful day. And hopefully you guys have been enjoying the completion for this game, because I've been having a lot of fun recording it. Talk to y'all then.